signal when you're shooting?
I'm shooting.
Good deal. Divtor ches musma. Live long and prosper. In true Vulcan form, I do not fret about death. I do not even understand the concept of mourning. And one thing is for certain. I know I will never be afraid to die. For after all, it's merely a part of nature. You live some more, and you live some more, and then eventually you die. You make that voyage home into the galaxy. You make that genesis of an afterlife. And one thing that I know for certain is that if my father were to pass away, I will know he died in true Vulcan form. A very honorable, logical Vulcan man. People ask me about why I don't fear death. Why should I fear death? Humans are highly illogical with their sadness. They're highly illogical with their sense of mourning and sadness when a human soul leaves the earth. But I will never understand this. Humans are highly illogical, sure as my blood is green. But my blood is red, and I did lose my father. Late May of this year, my father, right before my very eyes, had a stroke. 30 years prior, he had had his first stroke when he was 20 years old. It affected the left side of his brain, affecting the right side of his body. At the age of 65, we would later learn that an embolism on the left side of his brain, right side of his brain rather, affected the left side of his body. He would have been completely and utterly paralyzed had we not decided to take out those tubes, breathing and feeding. These images play in my mind so often. I will never forget going into the ventilation unit and seeing my father in the way that he did, lifeless, completely and utterly lifeless. Even when I used that iPad to play classical music in his ears, like I had heard in studies, it did not work. And I do not even pretend to know what the inner machinations are of a person who has had a stroke. But hopefully, in some way, it was a call to the heavens. And throughout my day-to-day life, I try to be Spock. I try to be that person who can be logical. I try to be that person who can be the type who can just let things just roll off my back. But alas, I am human. Spock was a central figure in my father's life, after all. Our first dog was named Spock. And I have taken on that personality on most days, and I wear a number of faces, and I wear a number of hats, and I wear a number of different types of masks. And these days I'm trying my best to project positivity. I want to project live long and prosper, but instead, because I am so traumatized by the sight of seeing my father have that goddamn stroke, instead of projecting this, I project this. And damn it, I don't want to do that anymore. And with this, I struggle. But as I know, my father would not want me to be struggling the way that I am struggling now. He would not want me to be mournful every damn day of my life. He would want me to be happy. He would want my mother to be happy. He would want both of us to be happy in a unit. And I would try every day to just not have the vision of my father sitting in his wheelchair, discharge coming from his nose, heavy breathing, watching my father being carried out lifeless right in front of me. It's a very hard image to let go of. But as the Vulcans say, Dad would want me to live long and prosper. Diftor hes musmach.